I'm excited you just laid it all clear for Nigerians, and many will be asking questions as they come back from recess this month. One document is already within the confines of the National Assembly, and that is the 2017 budget. You recall what we saw last time, and the back and forth journey of that budget, and pretty much later the talk about padding and whether it wasn't padded also came to the fore. What do you expect from your colleagues now when they look at the budget? Do we expect to have a transparent and easy passage of the 2017 budget, knowing full well that we had a very awful experience with the 2016 budget?
Yes, Suleiman, I expect a better treatment of the 2017 budget in order to avert the very needless embarrassment that was caused the nation by the events that surrounded the 2016 budget. For me, the issue of padding or not padding is novel, to legislative lexicon, because my experience in the legislature has not taught me that there is anything called padding. What they probably refer to as padding is the attempts or efforts by National Assembly members, to influence projects to their various constituencies. And I continue to ask questions, and I stand to be corrected, whether a member of the National Assembly can come to the National Assembly, spend 4 years, sponsor all the motions and all the bills there are, and then go back to his constituency and tell them that, oh, he has done a good job by speaking all the grammar. The people are not going to listen. So, and I believe that there are usually legislative, executive engagement along this line which are acceptable. It has become an acceptable norm in the process of passing budget. So in 2017, I understand from my colleagues in the National Assembly that there has been pre-budget preparation consultations between both arms of government. And what that means is that the incidences of having issues with the passage of the budget as we experienced in the years past will no longer occur. And I believe that the time is also very critical for us to know that it is not good for us to delay the passage of the budget or to have issues with it. Because the budget is an important document that the legislature must immediately put before the president so that they can, through their oversight, begin to monitor the implementation from the very get-go, going forward in 2017. So for me, between the legislature and the executive, I do not expect that, given the experience of the past, that there will be any issues with respect to the passage of budget. And those to whom this project is going to be saddled with the responsibilities, and that is the appropriation committees, must also live above board in not shortchanging their colleagues in the National Assembly by way of denying their constituencies the entitlement of those constituencies in terms of project appropriation, appropriation of funds for those projects that they will be entitled to suggest for their constituencies. And I dare say, and I stand to be corrected, and I have no apology for it, that members of the National Assembly have a right to attract projects that will be of great benefit to the constituency that elected them. What is not allowed, and which of course I believe should not be the case, is for such members to attempt to be the executors at the same time.
Good thing you're a lawyer, and one other thing here is that you just brought the argument to one other area that is also important. It has to do with the constituency allowance. Your constituents, for instance, would definitely be expecting a whole lot towards their development. How best can a lawmaker do that, knowing full well that you're not the executive, you're just there to make laws? How well can they influence all of that without getting into some kind of conflict between, with the executive?
I think the problem with the understanding of our people about the role of the lawmaker in representation is that they seem not to want to accept that in representing your constituency, you have to represent not just by words of mouth, but by letting the federal government know that a particular community within your constituency needs electricity. And when you tell the appropriate organ of government that they need electricity, that will not be enough unless it is appropriated for in the national budget. So at the end of the day, that is what is usually translated into what we call constituency projects that are introduced into the budget of the appropriate ministry, department, and agencies of government for them to execute in accordance with the Procurement Act. The funds for those projects are never meant for the legislators themselves. No doubt, some members of the National Assembly may go out of their way to want to abuse the process. Nobody is denying that. And what we have said is that anybody found in such a category must be dealt with in accordance to the law. But I believe that to say that members of the National Assembly, like I represented a very rural federal constituency in my 8 years in the National Assembly, no electricity in many communities, no good roads, no hospitals, no schools. Could I have been here without talking about these issues and then trying to attract them in through the federal government project?
I think we'll talk more. Honorable Osagie, we'll talk more when we return. I think we'll expand the argument and talk more so that people can better understand what exactly they'll be expecting of their representatives at the National Assembly this year, 2017. That'll be when we return. Stay with us.